Good afternoon, students. I hope I'm audible. Can you please respond if I'm audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Let's start with today's class. So last class we started with the DDA line drawing algorithm. So wherein we have seen that there are some drawbacks. So before that, I'll just quickly go through the algorithm. So here we are taking 2 points because we are going to draw a line. You need to have a start and the end point. So here we have given 2 points, that is x1, y1 and x2, y2. And then you calculated the difference between those 2 points. So that is delta x and delta y. So x2 minus x1 and y2 minus y1. So once it's done, then we need to find the number of steps in order to reach from one point to another. So how we can do that? It is the max of the difference, that is delta x and delta y. So we are using a logic of if and else in this case. So where you are checking if it is greater than, if the delta x is greater than delta y, then the step count will be equal to delta x, else it will be equal to delta y. And based on this, then we are calculating the increment at each iteration, how much the x should increase or the y should increase. Okay, so that we are going to take care here. So x will be equal to your difference, whatever difference you have calculated, divided by step. Similarly, y is equal to the difference in y divided by step. Then we are using a loop and you're plotting your x and y values here. So this is your plotting in your screen. So x1, y1, okay, this is the initial value or the starting point you can say. And then for the next iteration, depending on your slope, if our slope is like we have seen different condition, right? Slope greater than 1, slope less than 1, slope equal to 1. So for all these three conditions, how actually your x and y value changes. So based on that, but the formula will remain same, but your x increment and y increment value will vary, right? So x is equal to x1, your initial value, previous value plus increment what you have calculated, and previous value of y plus increment what you have calculated. So that will give you your next value. So like this we are going to continue in this way. Okay, so till, what's the condition here? Till you reach your x2, y2. And in order to reach x2, y2, how many steps you need? So that you have calculated over here. So that is used as a condition for your for loop. So depending on the maximum number of steps required to reach from starting point to end point, you are going to um, go through this loop and plot the pixels. So the main drawback with respect to DDA line drawing algorithm is the lines are not smooth. Okay, because we are rounding off the values, right? We have seen in previous class, we have discussed various examples with respect to different condition, and we saw that we are making use of a round off operation. So for example, if you have 0.62 something, so we are considering only 0.6 and that we are rounding off to 1 and things like that. So because of that operation, rounding off operation, your lines are not smooth. And one more drawback is, because we are dealing with the floating numbers in case of DDA, what happens is the computation power, the processing power required to perform the calculation with the floating point number is comparatively larger than your integer. So these are the true drawback with respect to DDA line drawing algorithm. So to overcome that, today we are going to start with a or discuss a new algorithm called Bresenham line drawing algorithm. Okay, so let's start with this. So before I actually start, I'll just give you a quick background about this. So we know that our line equation is y is equal to mx plus c. So this is our line equation in coordinate system. Right, this is a line equation in coordinate system, and in case of your screen, okay, what is screen? Screen is basically a collection of pixels, right? where you are going to display your pictures. It's a collection of pixels where you are going to display a line is nothing but a collection of pixels between 2 points x1, y1 and x2, y2. So this will represent the position, and any number of pixels which will fall, which is in between these 2 points is known as a line in this case. Because we are dealing with a pixel over here and on the screen it is known as a raster. What we are actually doing is, so this you can say it is a vector. So the equation will represent a vector. So what exactly we are doing is we are converting the vector representation into a raster representation. In terms of pixel we are trying to represent. So such operation is known as a rasterization. Okay, such operation is rasterization. Fine. So this holds good even for our DDA line drawing algorithm. So we have seen that for line whose slope is, please mute yourself, for line whose slope is less than 45 degree. Yesterday we have discussed all these three situations where your slope is less than 45, greater than and equal to 45. So when your line is less than 45 degree, we sample x values, right? We have seen it, right? When it was when your line is less than 45 degree, you had your x was incremented by 1 and y was incremented by less than 1, maybe a 0.4, something like that, depending on your m value. We have seen example yesterday. So in short, it will look something like this. It's less than 45, it will be here. So obviously your y value will be smaller than your x value. Your delta x is large in this case. So hence you will be taking more samples of x, okay, and less of y. So when your slope is less than 45 degree, we are going to take more sample of your x values. Okay, I can just mention as more x values. This is just to this is just kind of a recap of what we did in previous class, okay? Or you can say a summary. Similarly, for line, yeah, I do one thing. Somebody has not muted, so I'll just mute everyone once, okay? Okay. Yes, let's continue. Similarly, the line whose slope is, when your slope is greater than 45 degree, or you can say greater than 1, we sample what we are going to sample, x or y. When it is greater than 45 degree, it will look something like this, right? So in this case, your delta x will be, this is your delta x and this is your delta y. Obviously your delta x is less than your delta y. Hence we are going to sample y in this case, as we have more values of y. Fine. And for slope equal to 45 degree, what is the condition when slope equal to 45 degree? sampling is? So it is equal. It is equal at both ends. Both is x and y values will be equal. So equal sample you will get. Either you're going with the x value or you're going with the y value. Here slope is equal to 1. Fine. So this is what we discussed in previous class. Can I move to next slide? Yeah. Okay. So let's see the drawback of DDA algorithm and how it is overcome using Bresenham algorithm. So this is our screen. Okay. So let's consider this is our screen and this is our X pixel 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and this is for Y. So we have taken 4x4 screen. So let's say this is our line. Sorry. Okay. So let's say this is our line. Okay. So in this case, for this line, your x can have a value 0, 1 and a 2. Either 0 or 1 or 2. And your y also has, okay. I'll just undo this. I'm going to consider a line which is condition when m is less than 45 degree. Okay, this is the condition when m is less than 45 degree, and this is our line. So in this case, your x can have a value 0, 1, 2 and 3, and y can have a value 0 and 1, right? Because you will have less y value and more x value, as we have considered a case where m is less than 45 degrees. So once we are done with this case, same logic you can apply for m is greater than 45 degree as well. When m is equal to 1, at that time we need not worry much, because your x is also incrementing at every iteration and y is also incrementing. Okay, so your next value of x and y will be obviously whatever value you had previously plus 1, as we are dealing with only integers in case of your raster screen. Okay, so in DDA, so sorry, in this case, you can see whatever line you are drawing, right? So this line, okay, here actually it shows like there is a gap, sorry. Okay, so in this line, we have this point over here. Okay, so it looks like there is an intersection, like it is you are maybe by some fraction it may be in this pixel or maybe in this pixel, like it can, the line may be passing through, the line may be passing through 1, 0 or this one. Okay, so or you can say this one. It is 1, 1. So in this case, your line may be passing through 1, 1, 1, 0 or 1, 1. So here we have to decide whether I have to consider 1, 0 or I have to consider 1, 1. You need not worry about x, right? Because x is always you are incrementing initially 0, then 1, then 2 and 3. For y, you will be having initial value. The next value, maybe you have to consider the higher value of y, or you have to go ahead with the continue with the same value. So same thing, for better understanding, I'll just give this. So let's assume that between the pixels there is a gap. Assume there is a gap between your pixels. So this is our 1 pixel. So we are dealing with these 4 pixels over here. This is, let's say, initial value xk. Next is xk plus 1. I'm doing xk plus 1 here because it's an integer value always incremented by 1. Yk, and here it is yk plus 1. Generic value I have considered. So here, when you are drawing a line, okay, if your line is passing like this, so you're not sure like whether this line I have to consider this pixel or I have to consider this, right? In case of DDA, what we are doing, we are performing some round off function, and accordingly you're going to either select or you're going to select this. Whereas in this case, as we don't want to deal with the floating point number, we have to find some other mechanism to identify which pixel to consider. So for that reason, you are going to calculate the distance. Okay. So you have a line and you have a pixel. You're going to calculate the distance between the line and the neighboring pixel. So let's say the distance between this pixel and your line here is d1, and this distance is equal to d2, right? So what we are doing here, there is a line, okay, and it looks like it is passing through 2 pixels, so we are not sure which pixel to consider. There is a confusion. Okay, so in order to overcome that confusion, what we are doing, you're calculating a distance between the line and the pixel. Okay, so this is 1 pixel, we are saying it's distance d1, and this line and this pixel, the distance is d2. You're calculating the distance between the pixels. So this is based on the assumption that there is a gap between the pixels. So our main intention is to find the nearest pixel. So whichever pixel is nearest to your line, so that will be considered as the next value of your y or a x. Because I'm dealing with m is less than 45 degree, in this case we are calculating what is the next value of our y. So whichever pixel is nearest to this line, so that will be the next value of our y. So every time your x increases, your y can increase or it may not be increasing. So that is your x next. So here when m is less than 45 degree, your x will always increase by 1 at every iteration, whereas your y, it may not increase or it may increase by 1. Is it clear till here? So whatever algorithm we are doing, it is to decide this, whether I have to increase my y value or go ahead with the previous value. So this decision you are doing by making use of Bresenham line drawing algorithm. Are you able to understand why we are learning this algorithm? We can respond. Yes, I'm expecting response here.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. Is it clear till here?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, because we have derivation today, so make sure you are attentive. So in textbook, you may not find the clear derivation. Okay, it's like they are going to write it directly. So make sure you go through and follow this derivation properly today. Fine. So let's just continue. So understood why we are learning the algorithm. So what that is to make this decision whether I should go with the next value, that is yk plus 1, or just continue with the previous value. So as we know, y equal to mx plus c is our line equation. So when you are dealing with the next value, this will be y equal to m. X next is what? It is xk plus 1 plus c. Okay, I'm just rewriting it. Instead of x, I'm considering the next value, which is xk plus 1. So let's call it as equation 1. So next,
It's supposed to be in the bracket as well.
oh, sorry. It's mistake. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for pointing it out. So next we need to calculate the distance d1 and d2. So what will be our d1? This is our y. So this line is y. Okay, the line what we have drawn over here is y. Okay, so our distance will be y minus yk. So keep this in mind because we are doing for m less than 45 degree, we are dealing with y. Similarly, if you are doing for m greater than 45 degree, you will be doing the same process but with respect to x. So this will be y minus yk, okay, because this represent yk, right? This is yk rho. Sorry, this is yk rho, right? Yk. It's represent yk, and whereas this represent yk plus 1, and your line represent y. So y minus yk will give you distance d1. Similarly, the d2 is calculated by making use of yk plus 1, yk plus 1 minus y. Okay, is this clear? So we have a distance d, this is our line, and your line represent y, this is yk, this is yk plus 1. In order to calculate d1, you need to perform y minus yk plus y. So once this is done, next you need to check this condition. If d1 minus d2, okay, once you calculate d1 and d2, you are going to subtract or find the difference d1 minus d2. If it is less than 0, if d1 minus d2 is less than 0, then d1 minus d2 is less than 0, which means you are going to go ahead with which value of y? Yes. If it is less than 0, which means it's a negative value, which means your d1 is less than d2, right? When d1 is less than d2, which pixel you will select? Are you going to select yk plus 1 or you are going to select yk?
YK.
You are going to select yk. Why? Because your yk is nearest pixel to your line. Okay. Similarly, if d1 minus d2 is greater than or equal to 0, we are going to select yk plus 1. Fine. So please take on this, then I'll move to next slide. So once you are done, let me know. And if you have any doubt here, you can ask. Make sure you take down this, because I think today entire class will go in this derivation followed by algorithm. You have this draw as well, so that so later stage when you're trying to recall things, it's easy to understand. So here we are assuming gap between pixels. So basically you have a line. You're not sure when your line is crossing through two different pixels. You want to decide which pixel to select. Okay. So if it is less than 45 degree, your x will always increment in each iteration, whereas y you want to decide whether you have to increment or not. So that is decided based on the distance between the line and the pixel. So wherever the distance is less, that pixel is considered. Okay, can I go to next slide?
1 minute, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, so make sure you have the previous slide, whatever notes you have, right? So let's continue. Yeah. So we have d1 minus d2, right? We are trying to find this. So we already saw in equation 1 and 2, d1 is y minus yk and d2 is yk plus 1 minus y. So I'm talking about this. This is equation 1. So let's say this is equation 2 and this is equation 3. So now we are going to substitute equation 1 in equation 2 and 3. Okay, I'm going to replace our y value with in terms of mx and c. So this will be y minus yk. And what is our y? Y we represent in terms of next value, right? So it will be m xk plus 1 plus c. So this is our y. So y minus yk. That is our d1. So this will represent, this is our d1 minus d2. d2 is yk plus 1 minus y. So what's our y? M of xk plus 1. This is plus c, but because I have minus over here, so it will become minus c. This equation is clear? Substituted equation 1. In equation 1 we had y equal to m of xk plus 1 plus c. So this you are going to substitute over here. We know d1 is y minus yk. Replace y with this. Similarly, d2 is equal to yk plus 1 minus y. Replace y with this. So we just did that here. So next we'll just try to simplify it further. It's m xk plus 1 plus c. I'm going to remove this bracket, okay? Yk minus yk minus 1, minus plus is minus, minus minus is plus. So minus minus is plus. You got this. Next,
Wait,
you can
Matt,
see this. Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
you put minus up there. Never mind. Thought it was.
Is it clear? So this minus is because you have what? It is something like this. You had actually it is plus, but plus minus will become minus, right? That's why I directly wrote minus over there. So next we can see we have m of xk plus 1, m of xk plus 1. So it will become 2m xk plus 1, and you have yk and yk minus minus, right? So it will become 2 yk, and we have c and c plus 2c minus 1. Okay, is it clear till here? Nothing we did. We just substituted y with this, and we have just removed the brackets and this minus you multiplied it inside, so it will become minus. This is minus, minus plus, and 6 minus is again plus. We got this. Is it clear? This is a d1 minus d2. So as you can see in this equation we have m, right? So as we have m equal to delta y by delta x. What happens if I'm using m in this equation? This may give me a float value, right? Because it's a fraction. So when you do delta y by delta x, I may get a float value. Which we want to avoid in this algorithm, right? Because you want to get rid of that floating computation. That's why we are using this algorithm. So we somehow don't want this fraction and end up again with the floating values. So what we can do? So we can multiply, okay? Therefore, multiply LHS and RHS. Okay, we are going to multiply the left and the right hand side with delta x because you want to avoid a fraction. Okay, I'll go slow. So if you have any difficulty, please ask. We substituted it. We got this equation. In this equation, we have m, which is a slope. Slope represent delta y by delta x, which is a fraction, which may lead to a floating value. So in order to avoid this floating value, you want to get rid of this delta x. How we can do that? We can multiply your LHS and RHS with delta x. So let's do that. So once you multiply, what we'll get? We'll have delta x d1 minus d2. Okay, for this equation, we are going to multiply it with this. You are going to represent m with delta y and delta x and then multiply. Okay. So this will give us delta x. What is m? 2 into delta y by delta x, xk, plus 1 minus 2 yk plus 2c minus 1. This just simplify it. So delta x will get cancelled. You will get 2 delta y xk plus 1 minus 2 delta x yk. Delta xc minus delta x. Okay, so we got this. So in this equation, delta x is your x values and this is constant. Your delta x is constant, intercept even that is constant, the line passing through, right? This is constant, right? And delta x, the difference in the line remain constant. Any other term is there which is constant to here? I think we missed one term now here. Okay, we can just for 2 into delta y into xk plus, okay, I'll just rewrite it, 2 delta y xk plus 2 into delta y. Even this is constant because delta y is constant. So these three terms are constant. So we are going to remove a constant, as constant have no effect on our decision in order to decide whether to go with previous value or go with the next value of y. So you don't need this constant. So these are constant values. So remove constant, as constant has no effect on decision. So once you remove your constant value, so the new equation. So let's just represent this, okay, your difference as a decision parameter pk. What is this decision parameter? So this helps us in making the decision. Hence we are calling it as decision parameter. So what decision parameter will be 2 delta y xk minus 2 delta x yk. Okay, so this is our decision parameter. So next, decision parameter for the next pixel. This is a decision parameter for pixel k. Similarly, you can rewrite the same equation for decision parameter for the next pixel. For next pixel. We can write this to delta y. This is xk, or let's just write next. And because we don't know what's the next value of y is. So we'll just next. Okay, you can just take down till here, and if you have any doubt, you can ask. Then we'll go to next slide. Just go through equation once. Let me know once you are done. Can I go to next slide?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So here what we did, we just calculated d1 minus d2 in terms of your values xk, yk, and c. And we wanted to avoid m because m will give us a factor. Hence you multiplied your LHS and RHS with delta x, and then you rewrote the equation. And when you write the equation, we found that you have a constants here, that is the difference in y value, difference in x value, they're all constant, and c is also constant. So we are going to remove that constant because it has no effect on the decision making. So let's just remove it. So once it's done, the decision parameter pk, we got the final equation as 2 delta y xk minus 2 delta x yk. And similarly, if you are trying to find a decision parameter for the next pixels, that is k plus 1 pixel, it will be 2 delta y x next, that is the next value, minus 2 delta x y next. Let's continue. So to know how much it should change every time, to your decision parameter, how much it should change every time. So I'll just write down. To know how much it should change every time, your decision parameter, how much it should change. We are going to calculate P next minus PK. We already know what is P next and PK. It is done in a previous slide, right? This is okay. This is our P next. Okay, and this is our PK. So P next minus PK we are going to do in order to know how much it should change for every iteration or at every pixel. So let's write the equation for that. So P next is 2 delta y x next minus 2 delta x y next. So this is our P next minus 2 delta y xk minus 2 delta x yk, because this is for pk, previous value. Just remove the bracket and rewrite it. 2 delta y x next minus 2 delta x y next minus 2 delta y xk plus 2 delta x yk. So 2 delta y, just take it as a common here, 2 delta y. We'll have inside x next minus xk. Similarly, take your 2 delta x as common. You have y next minus yk. Right? So we got this equation. So once you substitute the equation for p next and pk, you just remove the bracket and rewrote it in format. So next, let's check if p next minus pk is less than 0. If the difference is less than 0, okay, are you going with yk plus 1 or yk? If the difference is less than 0. What will be our y next if the difference is less than 0? What is pk? It is a difference, right? d1 minus d2.
yk plus 1.
We did this, right? I hope you remember what is d1 and d2. Okay, so just keep this diagram in your mind. So when we do that, if the difference is less than 0, what will be the value of our y? What will be the value of our y?
Yk plus 1.
Yk plus 1. No, it is difference is less than 0. No, it's like d1 minus d2 we are doing, not d2 minus d1. So when we are doing d1 minus d2, when it is difference is less than 0, your y next will be equal to yk. No change. Okay, because it is less than 0. So in this condition, when your y next is equal to yk, what will be your p next value? So we'll be using this equation. P next is equal to pk. I'll take the at the right hand side. It will become pk plus 2 delta y. So we'll write it as xk plus 1 because it is obviously increasing at every increment as we are dealing with m less than 45 degree. So this is our condition we are doing for this. So x will be incremented. Minus xk minus 2 delta x, because here we are doing d1 minus d2. Okay, and they're saying it is less than 0, which means it's a negative value. So obviously your d1 value is less than d2. Hence we are going with yk. So this will be 2 into delta x, y next minus y next. Okay, so this whole term will get cancelled because it's plus and minus, right? You are going to cancel it. So the new equation will be plus 2 delta x, which is right because it's like 1 minus 1, so that is 0. So anything multiplied by 0 is again a 0. So our equation will be pk plus 2 into delta y. So this is the equation when your division parameter 0. Similarly, if p next minus pk is greater than or equal to 0, then your y next value will be equal to the next, that is yk plus 1. Again, substitute it and see the new value for your P next will be P next equal to Pk plus 2 delta y. So this will remain same, that is xk plus 1 minus xk minus 2 delta x. Y next is okay. So I should write it as yk. This will be yk. That's what it got. So this y next will be yk plus yk. So this will get cancelled. Your equation will be pk plus 2 into delta y minus 2 into delta x. You see pk plus 2 into delta y minus delta x. Okay, so here what we did, we just calculated the difference between the decision parameter, and if the decision parameter difference is equal to 0 or less than 0, which means your d1 minus d2, when you do that, if you're getting a negative value, it will be less than 0, which means d1 is smaller than your d2. Hence, your y next will be equal to yk. So I relate this, that is the next decision will be next equal to y. Similarly, it is greater than or equal to 0, okay, which means your d1 is greater than d2, your y next value equal to yk plus. We'll end up with this, that is pk plus 2 into delta y minus delta x. Please go to the equation. If you have any doubt, you can ask. we calculated the difference between P next and Pk. We got this, okay, in this equation. And then we are checking if P next minus Pk is less than 0. If it is less, which means you are going ahead with the same value. Hence, we are going to replace your y next with yk, and you got this equation. And if it is greater than or equal to 0, we are going with the next value. You replace your y next with pk plus yk plus 1, you will get this equation. So shall I go to next slide? Shall I go to next slide?
Yes,
You can let
ma'am.
know S, no, something.
Yes, ma'am. You can go to the next slide.
Yeah, I'll do that. Okay, so next, this one small thing is there. To find the initial value of pk, so we are going to calculate pk where k is equal to 1 for the first pixel. Okay, to find the initial value of pk, we'll start with the first pixel. So hence, to find the initial value of your decision parameter. Okay, so now to find the initial value of pk is for first pixel. Sorry, which will be x1, y1. So you're going to write your equation as this. I'm rewriting our pk equation. Okay, so what is our k? Pk is 2 delta y xk minus this equation you already have, delta x yk plus 2 delta y plus 2 delta xc plus delta x. This is pk's equation. So just replace k with 1 because we are dealing with the first pixel. This will become 2 delta y x1 minus 2 delta x y1 plus 2 delta y plus 2 delta x. Okay, so this c I want to replace. We know y is what? mx1 plus c, right? So let's rewrite c in terms of x and y. So that will be y1 minus delta. Just rewrite it in this way. So my c will be y1 minus delta y by delta x into x1. This delta x I'm going to cancel over here. That's why we can just directly write it here in this way. So equation will be 2 delta y x1 minus 2 delta x y1 plus 2 delta y delta x y1. Delta x and delta x will get cancelled. So that will become 2 delta y x1 minus delta x. So we have 2 delta y x1 minus 2 delta y x1. We have minus 2 delta x y1 plus 2 delta x y1. Okay, so after cancellation, our equation is 2 delta y minus delta x. So this is the initial value of our decision parameter. Okay, any doubt here? What we did, we just wrote the expression of your pk and then we replaced k with 1 because we are dealing with the first pixel. And the constant c you are representing in terms of x and y. So we are making use of our line equation, that is y equal to mx plus c. You represented c in terms of x and y and replaced it over here. Then do the simplification. You got the final equation, that is P1 is equal to 2 delta y minus delta x. Yes, you can just take it down. Let me know once it's done. So we are done with the derivation. So next I'll be making use of these values. We are going to write our algorithm, Bresenham algorithm. Because once the derivation is done, algorithm is not very big. It's a small algorithm which directly make use of the concept which you got from this derivation. Then we'll see one simple example and see how actually the coordinates are calculated. Can I go to next slide?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. So this is the algorithm. So this is our Bresenham algorithm wherein you are going to have 2 points x1, y1. x2, y2. So remember, we are doing this for slope less than 1. So initial value is the initial point which you are making use of. X is equal to x and y. We have x equal to x1, y equal to y1. This point. Calculate the difference, which is x2 minus x1, because x1, y1, x2, y2 is given. Okay, so we are calculating the difference, that is delta x, which is x2 minus x1, and delta y, which is y2 minus y1. So what is the initial decision parameter value? We just calculated the initial decision parameter value. In the previous slide, we calculated initial decision parameter value, which is 2 delta y minus delta x. So that we are going to use over here. 2 delta x minus 2 delta y. It's 2 delta y, sorry. So I have done, okay, so this is 2 delta y minus dx. Then we are going to make use of loop. So what we did, we have 2 points. We are assigning x2, x1, y2, y1, calculating the delta x, which is x2 minus x1, delta y, which is y2 minus y1. Your initial decision parameter value, we calculated the equation, which is 2 delta y minus delta x. Next, you can either make use of while loop or for loop. So while x is less than or equal to x2. Okay, if it is when your x is less than your previous value or your end value. This is the initial value, this is your end value, because x is given assigned to x1, right? And x2 is our end value. So we are going to check the condition. So first you are going to plot your starting pixel value. So put pixel x1, y1. So first pixel value we are going to plot. Then we are going to increment our x, because we are dealing with slope less than 1. Incrementing x and see if the decision parameter is less than 0, right? If the decision parameter is less than 0, then P will be equal to P plus 2 into delta Y. That is this. If the decision parameter is less than 0, we are replacing it with P plus delta Y. So P is equal to P plus delta Y. Else P is equal to P plus 2 delta Y minus 2 delta X. And then you are going to increment your Y value. Close. So this is Bressenham algorithm, which is making use of the concept. We got 2 points, that is start and an end point. So X and Y value, we are assigning it to the initial starting point, that is X1, Y1. Then you are calculating delta X and delta Y. And the initial decision parameter value, based on the derivation which we have done, it is equal to 2 delta Y minus delta X. Then you are making use of for loop or a while loop. Check the condition whether you have reached the end point or a end point in your line, which is X2 in this case. So X is less than or equal to X2. You are going to continue this. Put pixel, the first pixel you are plotting it on the screen, incrementing the X as we are dealing with slope less than 1. If the decision parameter is less than 0, we are making use of this. That is P next equal to P plus 2 into delta Y. If it is greater than or equal to 0, we'll go with this. That is P plus 2 into delta Y minus delta X. Right? Okay. So any doubt till here? Any doubts so far? Yes, any doubt? Yes, you can respond here. Any doubt here? So we did the derivation and we have seen the algorithm of Bressenham algorithm. So now we have to just solve one simple problem based on that so that you understand it.
This particular algorithm is only for when the slope is less than 1, or can be applicable
yes, it is for when slope is less than 1 only. Okay, because only in that condition you are going to increment your X. Here we are making a decision with respect to Y. As you can see in the algorithm, you are seeing whether you have to increment Y or not. If you are dealing with slope greater than 1, then you have to decide whether you have to increment X or not. Okay, but the process will remain same. So whatever derivation we have done, so that will remain same, but little modification you have to do with respect to X and Y. We have to interchange it. So in this case, you can see here when P is less than 0. Okay, so here you are seeing that we are not doing any modification, whereas here we are incrementing Y. So this algorithm is for slope less than 1. So if you're doing a derivation with respect to slope greater than, then accordingly, you can just do the modification to this algorithm. Okay, before going to the problem, maybe I can just show you. Previous class we have discussed DDA line drawing algorithm. I'll just show you how it, one simple execution. Okay, I'll show you. Yeah, this is a line drawing algorithm wherein we are considering 2 points. We are considering 2 points, X1, Y1 and X2, Y2. Here X1, Y1 value is 50 and 60. X2, Y2 value is 10 and 6. So if you are using DDA line drawing algorithm, this is how your line will look. So you can see here, it's not a smooth line. It's kind of a zigzag way it is drawn, right? It's not exact straight. So it is a very, it's not a smooth line. So to avoid that, we are going for your Bresenham line drawing algorithm. So algorithm we have already seen. So this is just a logic. So logic you can write in your own way. There is no hard and fast rule like this is the only way to logic. But the concept will remain same. Like we can see here, we calculated the difference. We checked whether x is greater than y, and accordingly you are going to set your step value. It is similar to what algorithm we discussed, right? Then you are going to decide your x increment and y increment value based on step by step, that is difference by step. And then the initial value of x and y variable. Then you have to begin plotting. Okay, so this is to represent the data onto your window. And here we are making use of a loop. The end condition is the step, which is just the number of pixels you have to go through in order to reach your endpoint. And then you are incrementing your x and y value based on what value you have for x increment and y increment. And for each iteration, you are going to plot the points onto your screen. Right, so this is a logic for your line drawing algorithm. So this is the initial point. We are fetching it from the user. Hence, we are doing printf scanf, wherein you will give the initial values of x1, y1 and x2, y2 and display it onto the screen. Okay. So this I executed using code block and using OpenGL library. Okay, I think it's enough for today's class because we did derivation and algorithm. So next class you can just please go through all the derivation and algorithm once again, and we'll solve one example based on that. Okay, one simple example we'll take wherein we'll have x1, y1 and your endpoint values, and we'll try to calculate the all in between coordinate values, similar to how we did for our DDA. Like we solved few examples, right? Same way we go for Bresenham. Any doubts so far?
No, ma'am.
Okay, if no doubt, then I'll just stop recording. We can end our session here. So next class, I'll solve example on Bresenham and start with a new algorithm. Okay, your algorithm is already with you. You just try to write a code and execute in your code block.